What's better than winning the lottery? Follow me to find out. Welcome to M25 Personal Development. I'm your host, Daniel B. And let's go on an adventure together. Welcome back to part 2 of Psycho-Cybernetics Breakdown. I'm going to read some select text from this book, kind of the highlights, try to get you inspired to purchase this yourself and read it, because that's what you should really do. But I want to make these videos to motivate people to actually go out and do that, instead of just telling you, oh yeah, it's great, it changed my life. But I'm going to give you examples. So that's my goal here. So bear with me, guys. Chapter 2. Discovering the success mechanism within you. When man himself set out to build an electronic brain and to construct goal-striving mechanisms of his own, he had to discover and utilize certain basic principles. Having discovered them, these scientists began to ask themselves, could this be the way that the human brain also worked? Could it be that in making man, our Creator had provided us with a servo mechanism more marvelous and wonderful than any electronic brain or guidance system ever dreamed of by man, but operating according to the same basic principles? Interesting. But operating as in the same basic principles. Built-in guidance system. Every living thing has a built-in guidance system or goal-striving device put there by its creator to help it achieve its goal, which in broad terms, to live. The success mechanism in man can help him get answers to problems, invest, write poetry, run a business, sell merchandise, explore new horizons in science, attain more peace of mind, develop a better personality, or achieve success in any other activity which is ultimately tied to living or making for a fuller life. And that's what we're all striving for. The success instinct. A squirrel does not have to be taught how to gather nuts, nor does it need to learn that it should store them for winter. A squirrel born in the spring has never experienced winter, yet in the fall of the year it can be observed busily storing nuts to be eaten during the winter months when there will be no food to be gathered. Think about that for a second. Interesting. A bird does not need to take lessons in nest building, nor does it need to take courses in navigation. Yet birds do navigate thousands of miles, sometimes over open sea. They have no newspapers or TV to give them the weather reports, no books written by explorers or pioneer birds to map out them for warm areas of the earth. Nonetheless, the bird knows when cold weather is coming. Winter is coming. And the exact location of a warm climate, even though it may be thousands of miles away. In short, animals have a success instinct. Animals cannot select their goals. Their goals, self-preservation and procreation, are preset, so to speak, and their success mechanism is limited to these built-in goal images, which we call instincts. Man, on the other hand, has something animals don't: creative imagination. Thus, man of all creatures is more than a creature, he is also a creator. With his imagination, he can formulate a variety of goals. Man alone can direct his success mechanism by the use of imagination or imaging ability. We often think of creative imagination as applying only to poets, inventors, and the like, but imagination is creative in everything we do. Very true if you really think about that. Everything we do, we're creating something. It's very interesting. Imagination rules the world, said Napoleon. Imagination rules the world, said Napoleon. Imagination of all of man's faculties is most godlike, said Glenn Clark. If you can imagine your future, says Henry J. Kaiser, who attributes most of his success in business to the constructive, positive use of creative imagination. How your success mechanism works. Your brain and nervous system constitute a goal-striving mechanism which operates automatically to achieve a certain goal, very much as a self-aiming torpedo or missile seeks to destroy its target and steers its way so. Your built-in servo mechanism functions both as a guidance system to automatically steer you in the right direction to achieve certain goals or make correct responses to the environment, and also as an electronic brain which can function automatically to solve problems, give you needed answers, and provide new ideas or inspirations. Isn't that what Pinterest is for? Well, all right. The word cybernetics comes from a Greek word which literally means the steersman. Servo mechanisms are so constructed that they automatically steer their way to a goal, target, or answer. Psycho-Cybernetics, a new concept of how your brain works. When we conceive of the human brain and nervous system as a form of servo mechanism, operating in accordance with cybernetic principles, we gain a new insight into the why and wherefore of human behavior. I choose to call this new concept Psycho-Cybernetics, hence the title of the book. The principles of cybernetics as applied to the human brain. I must repeat, Psycho-Cybernetics does not say that man is a machine, rather it says that man has a machine which he uses. Let us examine some of the similarities between mechanical servo mechanisms and the human brain. The two general types of servo mechanisms. Servo mechanisms are divided into two general types. Number one, where the target, goal, or answer is known and the objective is to reach it or to accomplish it. And two, where the target or answer is not known and the objective is to discover or locate it. The human brain and nervous system operates in both ways. When you select the goal and trigger it into action, an automatic mechanism takes over. Once, however, a correct or successful response has been accomplished, it is remembered for future use. The automatic mechanism then duplicates the success response on future trials. It has learned how to respond successfully. It remembers its successes and forgets its failures, and repeats the successful actions without any further conscious thought or as a habit. How your brain finds answers to problems. The more that is learned about the human brain, the more closely it resembles, insofar as function is concerned, a servo mechanism. Science can build the computer, but not the operator. Is there an infinite storehouse of ideas, knowledge, and power? Many great thinkers of all ages have been believed that man's stored information is not limited to his own memories of past experiences and learned facts. There is one mind common to all individual men, said Emerson, who compared our individual minds to the inlets in the ocean of our universal mind. Edison believed that once he got some of his ideas from a source outside himself. Once, when complimented for a creative idea, he disclaimed credit, saying that, quote, ideas are in the air, unquote, and if you had not discovered it, someone else would have. Telepathy, clairvoyance, precognition have been established by scientific laboratory experiments. We have found, says Dr. Ryan, that there is a capacity for acquiring knowledge that transcends the sensory functions. This extrasensory capacity can give us knowledge certainly of objective and very likely of subjective states, knowledge of matter, and most probably of minds. Many creative artists, as well as psychologists who have made a study of the creative process, have been impressed by the similarity of creative inspiration, sudden revelation, intuition, etc., and the ordinary human memory. Searching for new ideas or an answer to a problem is in fact very similar to searching memories for a name you have forgotten. You know that the name is in there somewhere, or else you would not search. The scanner in your brain scans back over stored memories until the desired name is recognized or discovered. The answer exists now. In much of the same way, when we set out to find a new idea or the answer to a problem, we must assume that the answer already exists somewhere and set out to be found. Once a scientist attacks a problem which he knows to have an answer, his entire attitude is changed. He is already some 50% of his way towards the answer. Do not be afraid of making mistakes or out of temporary failures. All servo mechanisms achieve a goal by negative feedback, or by going forward, making mistakes, and immediately correcting course. So, learning from your mistakes, learning from your experience. And if you're really smart, learning from other people's experience. It's a hard one, though. Skill learning of any kind is accomplished by trial and error, mentally correcting aim after error until a successful motion, movement, or performance has been achieved. After that, further learning and continued success is accomplished by forgetting the past errors and remembering the successful response so that it can be imitated and repeated. You must learn to trust your creative mechanism to do its work and not just jam it by becoming too concerned or too anxious as to whether it will work or not, or by attempting to force it by too much conscious effort. You must let it work rather than make it work. This trust is necessary because your creative mechanism operates below the level of consciousness and you cannot know what is going on beneath the surface. Moreover, its nature is to operate simultaneously according to present need. Therefore, you have no guarantees in advance. It comes into operation as you act and as you place a demand upon it by your actions. You must not wait to act until you have proof. You must act as if there is, and it will come through. Do the thing, and you will have the power, said Emerson. End part 2. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please follow me on Instagram and ask me any questions for future videos on there if you want. I'm very excited to be starting this channel with you guys. I look forward to many more episodes. Living the dream, if you know what I mean.